Hi everyone, and welcome to Agile Outcomes. Question: are you trying to build teamwork amongst your Scrum team, but you have a nagging suspicion that people are just not bought in? You might be right. Furthermore, it's probably because the managers of these people are not on board. If this sounds familiar to you, then I encourage you to watch the rest of this video where I present an answer to the dilemma. Hello and welcome to Agile Outcomes. I'm your host, Daniel Spencer. Today, I'd like to talk about teamwork above the teams. Question: have you ever heard this? We're going Agile, only to learn it's really only the software engineers? Here's a typical scenario. You form a new Scrum team, mostly engineers, but there's also a Scrum Master and a product owner. Well, this team doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? There's departments, there's org structure, and case in point, they're all members of the product delivery organization. So there's a hierarchy, a VP at the top, 3 departments. These are product, PMO, and engineering. Now the VP is giving the mandate, right? We're all going agile. But really, secretly, he's taking the director of engineering aside and says, "You're going agile." So now the director of engineering clearly has the mandate, and his org is now in line. His manager is in line, his engineers, they're all aligned. They're on board with Agile. So of course, when they participate in the Scrum team, they're fully on board with Agile. However, we have 2 other members who are not part of the director of engineering's org. So we have the product org, we have the PMO org. And then what about the Scrum Master? The Scrum Master is actually the project manager from PMO. Is she on board? And the product owner is actually the business analyst from product. Is he on board? We have some questions. So what if there is an alignment issue? What if they're not fully on board? It's entirely possible, isn't it? Let's take a look at the leadership area. If we want to address alignment, we need to make sure leadership is aligned. Well, first of all, what's the incentive for them to be aligned? Now, we had the executive mandate, right? But as we saw, the VP pulled the director of engineering aside and really gave it directly to him. So what do? Form a steering committee? Possibly. Maybe we'll have a monthly review, see how everyone's doing, but I'm not sure it's really going to engage. I'm not sure they'll take ownership. How about a third option? What about developing teamwork above the teams? Let's focus on that. So how would this work? Teamwork above the teams. So again, concentrate on the leadership level above the teams, and let's zero in on the direct managers of those reports. So again, we have product, PMO, and engineering. How can they work as a team? Well, here's a novel idea. Form a new team with roles. So we've seen this done before, right? We've seen this movie. If you look at Scaled Agile, this is exactly what happens in the Agile release train. We create this trio of roles, and these are the people who guide and support the entire art. So in this case, we have an RTE, typically hails from like a PMO type org, product management, obviously from product org, and a system architect, technology, engineering. This trio guides and supports the art. So they have a common purpose, they share the mission of the art, they collaborate, they have to get things done together, whether it's prioritization, whether it's clarification, whether it's sizing, whether it's roadmaps, and most importantly, they model teamwork. So now you have the Scrum team who's looking at another team. This is the leadership team, the team above teams. And what's interesting here is as the teamwork is modeled, the Scrum Master is looking at the RTE, who happens to be her boss. The product owner is looking at the product manager, who happens to be his boss. And they're watching teamwork, which has a great effect. So now you're seeing teamwork going up in leadership, and at the same time, you're seeing leadership go up on the Scrum team. It has a reinforcing effect. If any of you recall from previous videos, this was already outlined in my Agile cheat sheet, Develop Teamwork Above the Teams. So this cheat sheet I gave in answer to how do you instill real Agile transformation as opposed to just going through a checklist. So develop teamwork above the teams was my answer. All right, takeaways from this video. Recognize the org dynamics. You are all members of some org hierarchy in some shape, form, or another. So recognize that. And number 2, model teamwork above the teams, especially the managers who have the direct reports on the teams. That's it. Your feedback is welcome. Any comments and likes would be much appreciated. Again, this is Agile Outcomes. I'm your host, Daniel Spencer.